Hi, everybody. It's Kimberly. I'm an eternal life student, which simply means human. At the end of the day, that really is the only title that we need. I think people are like walking books. We each have our own stories to share, and by sharing them together, we can grow stronger. And today I have a guest who's going to share hers. I have Becky Villareal, who is a genealogist, a presenter, an author, and a retired teacher. Hi, Becky. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Kimberly. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good too. Thank you so much for coming back. I know that
Thank
you've been here before and
you.
you have a lot of knowledge to share with people. So we're gonna
Yes,
dive into a different category this time.
sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm as a family genealogist, the reason that I started doing research had to do with the fact that my mother didn't know anything about her family. And
Okay.
so I told her, I said, listen, I'll help you. I'll do what I can. And the computers had just been developed. We had our first computer,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was like, oh, it was crazy in the beginning. But actually, it because of what's in place now online, it's
Mhm.
much easier to access records, family records. So, if I can just kind of lead you through the steps of it, that would be great. And so, um, so the first thing you need to do if you're interested in looking up or getting information on your family, you have to start with yourself. You have to start with yourself and kind of and run up your own little family tree. And I was trying to see if I had a picture of a family tree.
Okay.
Yeah, I do right here. And actually, this is one that I have children do. And what you do, you start with yourself and you
Okay.
add information. Who's your mother? Who's your father? Who are your grandparents on both sides? This is a very basic one that I give to children to begin with, because
Hmm.
many times they know very little of this information. And so, but if this is where, as an adult, what you don't know, you can go and ask, like if your mother is still alive,
Hmm.
or if or if your grandparents are still alive. This is where take the time to go and ask information. Who were your parents? Where did you
Right.
come from? Where were you
Right.
born? Exactly. Did you have any brothers or sisters? But because all of that information is the beginning of a buildup of a family tree. And
True.
so that's what you're doing. And you're adding all those pieces little by little. It's like that old saying about how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. And the thing is that you can't take it all and say, okay, oh, this is a lot of information, I can't do this. But if you take it one spot at a time, you can build on it like you're building a house. And that's really
Perfect.
the best way to work on that. And so if you need to stop me, Kimberly, because
Okay.
I'll
No,
just
keep
rattle
talking.
on.
Yep, that's
Okay.
good.
So really in my case, and I knew that there was something called ancestry.com.
Hmm.
And I looked at ancestry.com and started with myself and started building by family tree. Now, Ancestry does charge. And
Hmm.
but there is a website out there that is completely free of charge, and
Oh, good.
that's the familysearch.org. And so Family Search that is put out there by the Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
It's built and has a lot of information. And so you don't have to pay for that. But if you do want to use Ancestry, let me tell you, you can go to the local library. The local
True.
libraries have those licenses to do
Hmm.
that. And so,
Oh,
uh, and,
nice.
and so what you do is you just go ahead and start building your tree under your own information.
Okay.
And like I said, it doesn't have to be done all at one time because
Uh,
I have my own family tree is huge. At this point, I've been doing it since 2000. So I've been doing it for
wow.
25 years. And I've done this for other people as well. And
Hmm.
because what you want to find out where your family's from, where your ancestors are from.
Yeah.
And I was very pleased to find out once I started building my mother's information. It was one of those, it really went way, way back. to the beginning of our country. And
Wow.
because one of my, his name was Antonio Molina. My mother's name is Mullins. Her,
Okay.
her, her family name is Mullins. And so I researched that name. And on Ancestry or on Family Search, it'll say, well, if this is who you are, then these your parents? And if these are your parents, then these must be the grandparents, and these must be
Oh,
the great grandparents. And so you keep building. So in this case, the Mullins family went all the way back to a gentleman was called Anthony Molina, and he was from Italy. And so,
wow.
and he came to help Thomas Jefferson build
Oh,
his gardens, his vines.
wow.
And so that's how far back that went. And it went back even further on my father's side. But on my mother's side, that went back to Italy. And I was able to, if I wanted to, I can become a part of the Daughters of the American Revolution, because
Oh, wow.
he was there, he was a part of that. And so and that's how far back it went. But it takes just growing things little by little. So,
Hmm.
but
So you
yes,
almost become like a mystery solver or a detective, right?
yes, I love that. I love that analogy, because that's exactly what it is. To me, it's like treasure hunting,
Yeah.
because every little bit of information that you get you can fit into that puzzle. And it's like a
Yes.
huge, beautiful puzzle once it's done, like a tapestry.
Yes.
And so really, when with my mother, we even found cousins that lived in the next town over, and we were able to
Wow.
go and visit and know them and learn about them. And he looks just like her cousins. And
Really?
so it's really funny. Yes, yes. So, these little Italian women, but
Yeah.
it was just wonderful to be able to learn all of that. And and I just keep going here,
Yeah.
but when you're looking for information, a lot of times there's newspapers out there that you can look into. There's
Hmm.
all these documents, birth certificates, marriage certificates, death certificates, that are online here in the United States. My
Hmm.
father came from Mexico, from Chihuahua. And so his information came from Mexico, and it was in Spanish, and it
Oh, wow.
came from the church. The churches were putting all that information together, and we found a lot of information that way. Yes.
So what about okay, what if it is international?
Mhm.
Is does it still track it through that search engine that you were saying? Or do you have to go a different route?
Well, for instance, like in the beginning, before Mexico started sharing this baptismal information out of the churches, you would have to go to Mexico and
Hmm.
look through the records yourself. That's what's
Right.
so wonderful about everything being digital right now. Because when I
Yes.
first started, very little was digital, and
Hmm.
they were trying to digitize it, and in fact asking for help. I do a lot of indexing with the Latter-day Saints, because they're like a census record from the
Hmm.
1800s, would be all handwritten information that where I would have to read it and be able to go ahead and put it into the computer so other people would have access. And
Right.
as far as getting information, for instance, going back to my father's history back into Spain,
Hmm.
there that would take me going there. Or there's also people online that you can contact and say, you know what, I'm needing information from this particular region. This is how much I know. You
Hmm.
always start, how much do you know? Give them everything that you know.
Yes.
And if you can hire someone to help you with that.
Oh, nice.
Or you could get online and get on Facebook, have some
Right.
friends that live all over the world, and
Yep.
say, you know what, I'm looking for, or
Hmm.
this record says this, and I
Right.
can't I can't decipher it. Can anybody tell me what that means? And especially with death certificates, they're about this yay big, and
Right.
you really have to read, but it gives you so much info. That one document will tell you the person you're looking for, their
Yep.
parents,
Hmm.
when they were born, where
Hmm.
they were born, when they passed away, and what and what happened. How did they pass away?
Yes.
And
Yes.
also they'll also give you information possibly about where they're buried.
Oh,
And
wow. True.
yes, but there's also a website that's called Find a Grave, and you can actually put someone's name in, and there are people that are out there taking pictures and finding grave sites. So there's all
Wow.
kinds of ways of
Yeah,
finding
there's a lot
information.
out there. I didn't realize.
Yes,
Wow.
that's all new. See, all of that in the 25 years that I've been doing this, that has developed, and it's so
Hmm.
wonderful to see that. I'm so excited to see that happen. So
Definitely.
yeah,
So,
there's
okay, I
there's
have a question for you.
sure.
Only because some people don't realize the importance. It's not even just finding out about the family, right? Your name, but
Right, right.
the story behind it. Now, by doing this, you're keeping it alive. You're actually
Yes.
keeping the history moving forward, right?
Yes, and you know something, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that I did for my family and my husband's family, I got gathered all of this information, and then and I started accumulating not only information but pictures as well. And
Yes.
a lot of family members had pictures that I had never seen before, and it was wonderful. But what I did, I put all of this information together, and this is what I do for my clients as well. I put it together in book form, and then I published a book, and this is from my husband's family. And as you can see, there were 9 children in that family, so that was a
Wow,
good sized
that's a pretty
family.
good size. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And so, but on the inside, it shows pictures of the family members. It
Wow,
shows how are we related, and
that's great.
that yes. And then at the very back, I would add pictures that family members had given me.
Oh, wow.
Oh, pictures that I've never seen anywhere. And this is another picture, right? I don't know if you can see that, but those
Yes.
two little twin boys. My husband is one of those two little twin boys.
Wow. Did he know he had a twin? Did he
Oh,
remember?
yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. But ironically, now, when I was doing the research for this book,
Hmm.
I had DNA, and that's
Hmm.
another piece of the puzzle. When you do DNA and provide it to the different, this particular one was on 23andMe,
Okay.
but Ancestry has that as well. And the DNA tells you multiple things. It also tells you it tells you about how what may be something you would contract, like diabetes, if they're family members.
Oh, okay. Like your health
Yes,
record.
yes, health records. And so
Wow.
you that is another way of tying things together. But in doing that research, people who match your DNA are able to contact you. It's almost like a third party, not calling you on the phone on your cell phone. No,
Right.
no. They contact you through the program and say,
Hmm.
I think I'm related to you. And
Oh,
that's what happened. We found a nephew, my husband's nephew, that we didn't even know had been born or
oh.
existed. And he was looking for his family. He had been adopted, and he
Hmm.
was looking for his family. And so when I when he got in contact with me, I said, yes, you might be. And I
Right.
was very, you with
Yeah,
strangers, you don't
sure.
know.
Yeah.
But I said, I might be, or you might be. And then he started sending me pictures, and he looked just like these two on the end,
So you're
the
like, yep.
twins. Yeah, the twins. And so it was like, you're
Wow.
related to us. And
That's
little by little,
amazing.
yes. And
Yeah.
and the thing is that the privacy issue,
Hmm.
you when you add your tree anywhere, you can always say, I want it, this is my tree. I don't want anybody else using it. I don't want anybody else
Oh, good.
changing it or anything. You can make it private, but I like to have the trees public that I work on, and I'm talking about my family trees,
Yes.
because because I'm being contacted by cousins and family
Right.
members from everywhere. So it's
Right.
wonderful. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and it depends on what is your reason for the treat, right? Um, that
Right.
is the goal. So, like, if yours is to find the history, to find the extended people, then you're gonna want it public. If you're just looking for one
Yes.
individual, you may want it private,
Yes.
right? Um,
Yes. Yes.
yes,
But you
that's
know what? What's good about all of that is that there are so many records out there and that you can find now, and you just have to really take the time to match. And that's
mhm,
where people that help you come in, because it's like, well, I know this man has the same name as who you're looking for,
correct.
but he does not. He was not married to your great grandmother. He was not. He didn't live in that part of the country. So you have to
Right.
look at things and say, is that
Does
really
it
the person that
match?
I'm looking at? Does it match?
Right.
Does
I
it
was
match?
actually going
Because
to ask you that. I've had a lot of people with a similar last name to me, but no relation.
yeah,
Some names are just common, right?
yes, yes,
And that's where
yes.
the detective work comes in, right? Digging
That's
a little bit
exactly,
deeper, finding where the
yes,
connection could be, and
yes.
that's it, right?
And plus the fact you have to kind of match up those documents, the birth certificates, the marriage certificates, the death certificate, and so
Yes.
you have to look at those documents and read them and attach them to that file. And
Yes.
so I'm talking once again, I'm thinking about digital. And because really everything is available on computer, but
Mm-hmm.
if you'd rather go to the library and do your own research, you can do it that way too.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
We kind of created a little miniature family. We call it the Family Bible. And
yes, yes,
it's been going on for a while. And what we do, marriage, like you said, marriage announcements and
uh-huh,
obituaries, because obituaries actually they don't just list that, but they list who's been left behind. So then
that's right.
that's additional names you can start to research. And
Yes,
and we started to see, wait a minute, they used to live here, now they're over here, right? So
yes, yes,
it
yes,
guides you to the next location of where to go, right?
yes,
And I had
yes,
found out myself, I had thought some of my heritage was from one country, and I found out no, it was from another. They actually just they traveled
they
from like Holland,
traveled.
right?
Hmm.
So we always
Hmm.
thought, oh, we're Dutch, but no, they just happened to travel from there because there
Uh-huh.
was no more ships available. So they instead went from that
See,
location.
uh-huh,
So,
uh-huh,
so like here you are curious to find out about your heritage. When you
hmm.
find out, wait a minute, you were going the wrong direction. It's actually this
Yes.
way.
Well, see, that's what's good about all of that, because nothing is really written in stone until you find everything that connects. And when everything
Correct.
connects, it's such a wonderful feeling, because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, now I know. Now I know why my
Yes.
hair looks this way. Now I know why I have brown eyes. Now, and
Exactly.
so, and not only that, one thing that I'm amazed of is how many people in my family are artistic and
Hmm.
creative. And but
Yes.
that is a common thread through my family. And
Yes.
they're writers and painters and musicians, and
Yeah.
yes, it's really
You know,
fun.
some people don't realize too, because same idea. When you start to look at the pattern, like you said, art, music, all these writers, all these different things, some people don't know what to do in life. And sometimes if you look at
Yes,
the past, you know the skill set that's kind of in your DNA, right? The
yes,
memories of it, and
yes.
it can help point you in going that direction or trying it out, right?
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. If you do go and talk and to build on this, if you do go to other family members to talk to them about whatever they know, whatever they remember,
Hmm.
remember to record it on your phone or in a book, take a little book with you or something, but record that information, because that's vital. That is really
Yes.
vital. I did that for my parents. I gave them a little handheld recorder, and at that time it was little cassettes about yay big, lots of
Ah,
batteries, lots of
yep.
batteries. And I said, record. I don't care what you record. And so they recorded stories about their families and about their
Ah,
memories. And so
yes.
so those are wonderful to have, you know. Yes.
Definitely. Yeah, no, and again, it's things that people don't realize they're not always going to be available, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's good to get it while they're there, so you can
Yes.
experience their feeling behind it. You can read it, you can
Yes.
look it up, but it's another thing
Yes.
to see them express it, right?
Yes, and you know that's what's so wonderful about one of the things that I do is go out and train others. I go to genealogical societies and work with them on how do you get younger family members involved in family history. And
Yeah.
I do a presentation and give them lots of handouts so that they know this is what we can do when we go back and we have that family reunion or we get together with our grandchildren again. And so you have a lot of information there, but I did that because as a teacher, I found out how little my own students knew about their families. And
Yes.
I'd say, you know, do you know your grandmother's name? Mm-mm, Nana.
Yeah,
Nana.
exactly. Grandma,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so it was stuff like that. And so really that's what got me interested in all of it because I wanted to be able to get children and young people interested, and I've done that as well. That's why I go out and do presentations because I'm trying to train others as a teacher, train others, and this is how you do it. This is a good way
Exactly.
to do it. It works.
Yes. You
So
know, and
yeah,
it's fun actually, right?
yes,
Because you can actually, it's not wasted effort. You're gonna find
yes,
something, and then it's gonna lead you
yes.
to another thing. And like you said, it's like hunting for treasure, right?
Yes, yes. And you know what? The Boy Scouts of America, one of their badges is for genealogy. So
Oh,
one of the
wow.
badges that they have to work for is for and this is the older scouts in Boy
Hmm.
Scouts, that they have to find out about their family and create a project. In fact, I'm glad I'm doing this because I'm going to do a mini commercial because I'm part of the Texas State Genealogical Society.
Oh, lovely.
They give out prizes, which include money, and they if you do a project, if a child is doing a project on their genealogy, they can send it in, and
Hmm.
then win prizes and
Oh, wonderful.
they give you a very nice certificate and they'll send you a little bit of money for as an award.
Yeah.
But as if you're doing bigger projects as adults, it's the awards get more fluid. But that's what's great about doing that. And see, that's something that's very recent that I've started. I've started working with them
Oh,
to
nice.
get children once again to get children interested.
No, it's perfect. So, I'm just getting toward the end of the podcast, so I want to make you
Okay.
aware of it. So, some things that are important is if somebody was interested in not like maybe they don't have the time to do the research,
Hmm. Hmm.
but they are interested in finding out.
Yes.
They can reach out to you, correct? And it is something that
Yes.
you do have available to do, right?
Yes, yes, I'll be glad to help them,
Perfect.
and that's what I've done that with several different people, because people who don't have the time and don't have the knowledge base, and that's why I'm so glad to be able to do that. Yeah,
Oh, that's wonderful. So, what we can do is, we'll put your contact information right at the end so that they can
yes,
see it. And not only do you do genealogy, but you also are an author of some books as well, correct?
yes, yes, and not only the family book, by the way, because
Correct.
I've done one on my husband's, and this is my family book as well.
Oh,
So
lovely.
these are on Amazon, not really for anybody but my own family. But then I've also written because of this, I've written several books, and this one, Halito Jana,
Yes.
came out last summer, and it's about a young girl, and it's written for it's a early reader chapter book, and it's written from the 9 to 12-year-olds. And it's
Hmm.
about a young girl who wants to find out about her family. And
Yes.
so she joins a club at school that's a genealogical club, and she finds out about her family. Palito means hello in Choctaw, and
Oh,
her name
nice.
is Gianna Saldana. And so she finds out about her family. And this is just the beginning of several books, but this is the
Hmm.
beginning of her journey. That's Halita Gianna, and it's put out by Laureate Life Press, but it is available on Amazon. And also
Perfect.
for older children, for teenagers,
Hmm.
this is called The Broken Branches, and this is another book where a young woman, she's a high school student, wants to has been given an assignment by a teacher to find out about her family. And so this is her journey, and it is written for older students. It is written for pre I don't want to call them preteens, but teenagers, and
Right.
really 13 up, 13 up.
Okay.
And really that's and once again, these are on Amazon if you're interested. And because there's a lot of information out there. And
Hmm.
for if you want to become a genealogist, and even if you're just interested, I don't mind answering questions. So I think that's the
That's,
teacher in me. So if you
aw.
just if you want
If
to
you,
contact me and just say, I don't know how to do this, I'll lead you. And
that's
there's
wonderful.
also a big once a year is there's something in Salt Lake City called Roots Tech. And
Hmm.
Roots Tech it's a conference where people go to just learn about how to do their own family histories. And so if you're interested in that, it's in Salt Lake City. It's usually about in March of the year.
Hmm.
And I've presented there several times in Salt Lake City. And but that's a really good way to learn too, just to be around other people who are doing it.
Exactly. No, and that's so great. You're showing, that it's not just a hobby, right? It's more than
Right.
that. And there are
Yes,
a lot
yes.
of people who are researching, so you might be surprised that there's another person out there looking for you that you're looking for them, right?
Yes, yes,
So,
yes, you're
yeah.
right. Yes, Kimberly.
Definitely. So I would
Yes,
say that it's important for everyone to take the time, learn your history. It affects you in many ways that you don't even realize yet. And the
yes,
stories that are there are waiting for you to learn
mm,
and encourage you for your story, right?
yes, 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 for your own memoir.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, yes.
So
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you so much again for being part of this podcast. And I always
Yes,
enjoy having you here. And
thank
there is
you.
just so much to learn. And I can't wait to talk about the next subject that I know we'll be having again.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You got it. Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.